Hello, everybody. Some of you know me as Gary, others Virgil, but most of my friends just know me as RP. So I've been asked some questions and things that I would like to try to hit on some of the more important ones to me, and hopefully this might pick up into something more in the future. But today's topic is marriage prep and retention, and I like to consider this the Grunt edition because, well, I'm hoping that it will actually make sense to a lot of the Marine Corps brothers I've got out there. So let me preface this lesson with a disclosure or two. This presentation is an enhanced modification of several courses that were offered by some of the chaplains I served with in the military. Not all the ideas came straight from my brain, but much of this is my version of those ideas and things that I've expanded on in my own experiences. Next is an admittance that I have personally failed at this, but through my failure, I would like to think that I've learned something. Please understand that one of the lessons I've learned is that sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you try or how much you want it, it is still possible to fail. This covers from the start of a relationship, but I would advise my audience to not skip to the part they think is important. Instead, take note of all that I'm about to share with you. Because you never know. Some people's relationships are different. So some of the things that I might think happen towards the beginning might happen later on in the relationship. So just keep that in mind. But this, take note of it all. And last, I'm in no way an expert, but I have worked with those that were. And I've seen my fair share of relationships throughout my military experience and, of course, my life. So my advice may or may not help you, and you should know that it is up to you to decide if what I say pertains to you or might benefit you. So now that all that's been said, I think it's time to begin. Alright, like I said before, today's topic is marriage enrichment. Now, for someone like me, marriage begins long before the vows are read. So liken it to a grunt mission, chock full of bad intel and dangers all around. It all has to start with planning. So here's my sit rep for this process. Alright, so you meet lots of people, and the idea is one of those people you're going to find is the one that you want to proceed to the objective with. The objective is, of course, a happy and long-lasting marriage. If it's not, then you're wasting your time watching this video. Go ahead and turn her off, because this isn't going to help you. But so here we are, and let's assume you find the one that you are ready to proceed towards the objective with. This is the easy part, but let's not pretend there are not dangers here. The pathway to marriage is, for the most part, easy, which is why I depict it as a straight shot. But there are buildings to either side, and each of them carry their own potential dangers. Alright, so for the first set of dangers, I'm going to say those are the shock-style dangers. This is primarily going to be things like each of your bad habits. Shit. The first set of dangers I have on here are what I consider shock-style dangers. These are the little things like your bad habits, and let's be honest with each other. When you first get started, you try to hide as much of the negative in order to get to where you are now. Unfortunately, those bad habits are not gone. They're just hiding, waiting to pop out and attack. But let's assume that you guys can get past that obstacle. Next, this is where the past might attack. So you have experiences, prior experiences, maybe an ex or two come into play. As you learn of these things, you'll have to decide if the mission can continue or if the two of you are strong enough as a team to make it through some of those things. Then you have the most complicated choke point. This is where friends and family come into play. And the reason I say that this is complicated is these can either be a source of strength and encouragement or another potential for attacks on the relationship. But before I go any further, I do want to discuss this and kind of stress something. We're going to be honest. All right, that's the key here. Being honest. True friends and your family want you to be happy. They always have and they always will, but they also want you to be safe. They want you to succeed, but they don't ever want you to get hurt. So keep that in mind. That's where, if they are a source of strife, maybe they have a good reason or multiple reasons, and their opinion should at least be taken into consideration and discussed. All right, we're going to assume that you made it to the wedding day. Woohoo! Great, congratulations. The war is over and now you can live happily ever after. Not. This is the attitude that helps the future attacks to really hit hard, and quite frankly, seemingly out of nowhere. The biggest lesson I have seen people ignore is the lesson that marriage is work. You should work at it always. But a key note is that work and marriage should be the kind that you enjoy most of the time. Imagine you have the best job in the world and you love doing it. Even if you had this job, every once in a while you'll still have bad days. Marriage is the same as that. Yes, it is work, and no, you will not always enjoy every part. But you should want to do it. If not, the next set of dangers will sneak in and attack. All right, in no particular order, the following are some of the potential dangers that you might face. Like I've said before, every marriage, every relationship has its own set of dangers. But one potential is other people. There will be some that attempt to come between you. Unfortunately, not every time this occurs is it intentional. But the damage is done even if it wasn't intentional, and can destroy your marriage. Sometimes it's just a friendship that seems to just kind of take its toll, and next thing you know, things start happening. So the only defense for this is to make sure you are doing all you can to build your defenses. Your best defense is love. All right, the next one is other things. This is where something else starts becoming more important to you. And some examples of this are property, hobbies, whatever. Your car, your motorcycle, whatever. Really, this is anything you put undue value to, neglecting your spouse in order to devote time or attention to the stuff instead of them. All right, here we have money. This could be a lack of, or it could be a difference in priorities for the spending of what you do have. Obviously, this can be a huge deal, seeing as how it is one of the most commonly fought over topics in today's marriages. It's one of those things. You got to pay attention that is something that causes problems. The next one hits close to home for me. This is the work or responsibilities. When you spend too much time working and not enough time with each other, this is a great way to create cracks in your defenses and allow other dangers to creep in. This is a good one for me to use as an example of how they all tie in together, or could tie in together. Let's look at it this way. Failing to work or take care of your responsibilities could cause money issues, which could cause fights, which could lead the other person, or even yourself, to look outside of your marriage for comfort. Every danger around you is connected, or at very least can easily be connected. The next one I'm kind of focusing on is stagnation. When you get too comfortable with the status quo, everyone changes. We grow older, we start to get used to things, and we don't want to accept that anything is different. The simplest way to look at this, and the best advice I can give, is going to be that if you're not growing together, you're growing apart, but you're always growing. And the last one is the unknown. Since the different potential dangers are so many and so vast, and of course it has so many variables, I'll just lump the rest into this category. No one, no matter how long or how many times they've been married, can identify all the potential dangers, which is why it's so easy for things to get in and destroy you. All right, switching back so you can see me. For my grunt friends out there, I hope this made sense, or at least some sense to you. But I'd like to end by saying that just like any battle, you wouldn't take the compound and then ignore the defenses. You went into your marriage with a purpose, to make each other happy, feel loved, maybe hopefully feel protected for the rest of forever. If that's not the reason why you got into it, you were wrong to begin with, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Your focus should have been on creating a good marriage, a happy marriage. If you're a man, you're a happy wife. If you're a wife, a happy husband. Basically, it's a team effort, and you should have been trying to provide for each other, whether it's money, happiness, whatever. Everything should be a mutually beneficial deal. But yeah, if you're not in it for love, if you're not in it to make each other happy, you're wrong. Just stop. Stop now or fix yourself. But I'd like to say thank you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to write a comment below, or for more personal questions, you can call, text, or message me. Depending on your relationship with me, you'll have one of those three possibilities for you. But I'd be happy to discuss anything and everything, and give you whatever advice I've got. And maybe we can all learn some more interesting things in the future. I do want to say I'm sorry. I thought I was more prepared than I was, but at the same time, I think it's important that this gets out there, because there are a few of my friends that do need this. And unfortunately, at the moment, I'm not all that great with the software side of things, so I'm probably not going to edit too much. Most likely, I'm going to just post this, get it out there, and then maybe someday clean it up a little bit and redo it. But anyway, thank you all for listening, and I will be sharing the transcript, or what it should have been, along with this video. All right, thank you.